In 2015, I was president of the Chiefs Association, and New Hampshire was faced with the start of the opioid crisis. And obviously in 2015, it hit us really hard, like a brick in the face. We didn't know what to do, and all the law enforcement veterans in the state were really dumbfounded and stumped about how to handle the problem. People kept calling me, what are the Chiefs Association? What are you guys gonna do about it? How do we get this under control? You know, the overdose deaths were just rising every day. And so I talked to some of the veterans with the DEA and Drug Task Force, and they said, this is way beyond enforcement. And I agreed with them. We had to tackle it from a prevention and a recovery standpoint, but we didn't know what to do and what that looked like, honestly. And so the organization, Lead Law Enforcement Against Drugs, just appeared. I didn't call them. They somehow knew that we probably needed help and came to us. And they did a presentation for me in Concord. And I was there with the chief of Rochester, and I had SROs from around New England, Maine, Mass, New Hampshire, and they heard the presentation. And we all agreed at the end of it, this is exactly what we need. We weren't doing anything in the middle schools, grades 6, 7, and 8, nothing. And I knew that if we didn't come up with a solution for this problem in 4 or 5 years from now, the kids that are in the middle school would be those kids and now in high school and graduating high school that are overdosing, so we had to do something. And after we left the meeting, I was committed to bring it to Winnisquam, but I knew that I was gonna need help with it. And so I approached Cenanne, and she's gonna kind of share her story from the school's perspective of how that kind of became adopted in Winnisquam and the challenges she faced. But once I approached the school and I approached Cenanne and the principals, they were open to the suggestion and the idea, but they had some challenges to incorporate a new lesson plan in their week and their schedule. And then after meeting with them, we realized there was a cost behind this, and that was the next challenge I had to face. And so it was almost again like the solution appeared before us in Concord. I just happened to have a meeting with Pat, and I said, you know, Pat, I have this thing that I'm working on right now that I really believe in. I think it's important. We have to get to these kids in grades 6, 7, 8, and 9, and we have to do it now. We can't wait a year from now or 2 years from now. Pat agreed with me, and he scheduled a meeting in Manchester almost immediately. And then I started to feel like this help coming. And once I left that meeting in Manchester, I knew there was help coming. And he said, you know what, we're gonna help you get this off the ground. Let me know what you need to get it through all of those grades 6, 7, and 8. And that began the ball rolling. And we haven't stopped since. And Pat, without you and the folks at the office at Granite United Way, I wouldn't be here today, and the program wouldn't be a success. So thank you. But I want to turn it over to Cenanne, because honestly, without her help, I wouldn't be here, and the program wouldn't be running either, because I really needed the school to be on board with this, and she had to convince them of that. So, Cenanne.
So I teach 6th grade at the Winnisquam Middle School, and we have grades 6 through 8 at the school, about 120 kids in each grade, so 360 kids roughly. And when the chief came to me and told me about the LEAD program, I thought it's going to be such a great thing for our kids. And we talked to the administration and figured out a way to have the program implemented during our school day. And so last year, I taught the class with one of the Tilton police officers as a pilot class. And so we had about 20 kids in the class, 27th graders, and the program went really well. The kids really enjoyed making the connection with the police officer and following the lessons that were given in the program. So we decided this year that we would try to have the program reach all of the 7th graders. So we trained a second teacher and a second police officer, and we started the year out with a rotation of kids so that we would be able to reach all of the 7th graders. And at that point is when the chief had his meeting with the Granite United Way people, and we were able to then fund so that we could have 6 police officers and 6 teachers trained, 2 in each grade, so that every Friday we have a 30-minute class where we have 6 police officers coming in and working with kids in all 3 grade levels. And I really just want to thank you all for helping make this happen. It's a great program. There are 10 lessons in the program. The first 5 lessons is basically getting kids comfortable, talking about setting goals and making good decisions, and then it's not till the last 5 lessons that they start to talk about alcohol, tobacco, and drug use. But each time that I teach the class, there are students, and I already knew this as a teacher in the school, that there are kids being raised by grandparents and they have relatives who've been in jail or have died because of drug use. But each time we teach the class, there are students that become so comfortable with the police officer that's in the class and the other students that are in the class that they will share things about their family members being incarcerated or dealing with drug addiction. And it's just, I think this program is really helping kids so that in the future, when they are facing these issues themselves, if they're facing the challenge of trying drugs or trying alcohol or tobacco or whatever the situation may be, that they will be better equipped to deal with that. So thank you very much for supporting this program and helping our students out.